hearing over and over again much louder voices, both on the Remain side and now from the pro-Brexit side, from her backbenchers. But at the same time now she will need to try and get Labour on side. Keir Starmer has come out and said that actually...
The shadow Brexit secretary.
Shadow Brexit secretary has come out and said that actually the Chequers agreement doesn't match Labour's 6 tests it needs to get the back in. And I think that,
I'm not sure any of us can remember what those 6 tests are, but we'll take his word for it.
And I think that actually, I think May is hoping that she can get some of the Labour rebels on side, but I think a lot of the Labour people will look at this and realise that actually the Chequers agreement doesn't really look great to them either. If they don't back it, they could just bring down May and maybe bring down Brexit.
That's an intriguing prospect, isn't it? Because then you have this paradox that the pro-Europeans who want to stop Brexit, but they could end up triggering let's say in the same sense that we eventually find that the only way out of this is a general election, and then up pops Jeremy Corbyn as Prime Minister, leading a slightly more, probably very much more pro-Remain party, but he himself being somebody who has traditionally been pretty anti the EU.
Right, and he has been quite... his spokespeople, when you speak to them and you put questions to them, there are certain elements of the 4 freedoms that they would very much like to change, but aspects of the single market that they would like to change.
And of course, freedom of movement they're not keen on now because this was one of the messages they got back from particularly some of the constituencies in the Midlands and the North.
They certainly did, but I wonder if they would be willing to compromise on that. But the whole state aid restrictions that the EU has,
they'd like to get rid of those.
They would like to get rid of that, and I think this is why this is quite, I think, slightly controversial, maybe. But I think this is why there's actually a good chance of Theresa May getting this through to the EU leaders as well, because they also know that if they don't support Theresa May in this, then they also have a risk of actually having to deal with, well, maybe a more pro-Brexit Tory Prime Minister, or perhaps a Labour Prime Minister. If it's Corbyn, then he will come with his own demands.
Yes, and one doesn't think that Corbyn would be any more at home in Brussels than the average hardline Brexiteer. I mean, he thinks of it very much as criticism has been that it's been a rich man's club, that it's facilitated the free market, and it hasn't necessarily been as strong on things like workers' rights as he would like, environmental protections and all the rest of it. Certainly, it's traditionally with his critique. I wonder also, I was interested.